The night I first heard Elvis, it was like a ghost had taken over the room. I was just a kid, sitting in my room, headphones on, and the world was a blur. The first note hit me like a punch in the gut. It was "That's All Right," and it wasn't just a song, it was a declaration. I remember the way the guitar riff crept in, slow and steady, like it was sneaking up on me. Then, out of nowhere, Elvis's voice cut through the silence. It was raw, it was wild, and it was like nothing I'd ever heard before. It wasn't just singing, it was a howl, a shout, a cry from the depths of his soul. I couldn't believe it. This guy was from another planet, or maybe he was just from somewhere deep in the heart of America that I'd never been. I listened to the song over and over, trying to understand how someone could make music like that. It was like he was pouring every bit of his life, every ounce of his pain, and every spark of his joy into those few minutes. I felt it in my bones, I felt it in my heart. It was like he was talking directly to me, even though he'd been gone for years. After "That's All Right," I didn't stop. I dove deeper, digging into everything I could find. I found "Blue Moon of Kentucky," and it was like a different Elvis was singing. This time it was softer, more gentle, but still with that raw edge. It was like he was singing to someone he loved more than anything in the world. I could hear the love in his voice, and it made me wonder who he was singing to, who he had loved so much. I kept going, finding more songs, more moments that made my heart race. "Heartbreak Hotel" was like a story of a man who was losing his mind, and "Hound Dog" was pure energy, like a wild animal on the loose. Each song was a different side of him, a different piece of a puzzle that I couldn't stop trying to put together. I listened to "Love Me Tender," and it was like a lullaby, but with a hint of sadness, like he was saying goodbye. And then there was "Jailhouse Rock," where he just let it all go, like he was dancing and singing and living every single second of that song. It was wild, it was free, and it was everything I wanted to be. I found myself staying up late, headphones on, listening to Elvis's voice until the sun came up. I was hooked. I wanted to know more about him, about his life, about the man behind the music. I started reading everything I could find, from interviews to biographies. I learned about his early days in Memphis, his time in the Army, his movies, and his incredible concerts. Each new discovery was like finding a hidden treasure. I found out about the Sun Sessions, where he recorded some of his earliest and most raw material. I heard the live recordings from his performances, where he was electrifying the crowd with his energy and passion. I listened to the interviews where he talked about his life, his struggles, and his dreams. Every song, every interview, every bit of his story was a piece of a puzzle, and I was determined to put it all together. I wanted to understand him, to feel what he felt, to live what he lived. And I knew from that first night when I heard "That's All Right," that I would never stop. I remember the days when I'd spend hours listening to Elvis Presley's music. There was something magical about each of his albums. One of my favorites is the Double Features collection. It's like a treasure chest of Elvis's movie soundtracks, all bundled into one amazing set. I got it in this cool metal film canister, and it felt so special, like I was holding a piece of movie history in my hands. The first disc in this set takes me back to the world of Kissin' Cousins. I can almost smell the mountain air and feel the excitement of the film. Songs like "Smoky Mountain Boy" and "One Boy, Two Little Girls" make me want to dance and sing along. And then there's "Clambake," where Elvis sings about the beach and the fun he has there. "Who Needs Money" and "A House That Has Everything" are catchy tunes that make you feel like you're right there with him, enjoying the sun and the sand. Moving on to the next disc, I'm transported to the Wild West in "Flaming Star." The songs here, like "Summer Kisses," "Winter Tears," and "Black Star," have a different feel, more serious and dramatic. They match the intensity of the movie. Then there's "Wild in the Country," where Elvis sings "Lonely Man" and "In My Way." These songs are so emotional, and you can feel the depth of his voice and the story he's trying to tell. The third disc is a mix of "Easy Come," "Easy Go," and "Speedway." "Easy Come, Easy Go" has some really fun songs like "The Love Machine" and "She's a Machine." They're upbeat and make you want to get up and move. "Speedway" is all about racing, and the songs like "There Ain't Nothing Like a Song" and "Who Are You" capture the thrill and excitement of the track. The fourth disc brings together more of Elvis's movie soundtracks, starting with Lave a Little, Love a Little, and Charo. Almost in Love and A Little Less Conversation are such great tracks, and Charo has a Western feel to it, which is cool. Then there's The Trouble with Girls and Change of Habit. These songs, like Almost and Have a Happy, are more mature and reflective, showing another side of Elvis. The fifth disc is a bit different. It's not from a movie but a live performance, and it's called The Elvis Presley Show. The energy in these songs is incredible. C.C. Rider, Men with Broken Hearts, and Proud Mary are just a few of the tracks that make you feel like you're right there in the audience, watching Elvis perform. The way he belts out Heartbreak Hotel and Suspicious Minds is just unforgettable. Another album I love is 100 Years From Now. It's a collection of some of Elvis's lesser-known gems. Songs like I Didn't Make It on Playing Guitar and I Washed My Hands in Muddy Water are raw and emotional. Little Cabin on the Hill and 100 Years From Now have a folk feel to them, and they show how versatile Elvis was as an artist. And let's not forget great country songs. This album is all about Elvis's country roots. Songs like I Forgot to Remember to Forget and Blue Moon of Kentucky are classics that take you back to his early days. Kentucky Rain and Green, Green Grass of Home are heartfelt and really showcase his ability to connect with the audience through his music. Each of these albums is a piece of Elvis's story, and listening to them is like taking a journey through his life and career. Every song, every note, and every word tells a different part of his tale. It's not just music, it's a part of history, and it's something that will always stay with me. I gotta tell you about this amazing collection of my music that RCA put together. It's like a treasure chest of different versions of songs you might know, and some you might not. It's like when you have a favorite shirt, but then you find it in a different color and you love them both for different reasons. That's what these alternate takes are like. I remember recording A Big Hunk O' Love. The record company used a mix of two different takes for the master, but they also released the first take on a CD called Hits Like Never Before. It's cool to hear how the song evolved, you know. And then there's a live version from 1972 that's just as powerful, but has a different feel to it. Another song, A Cane in a High Starched Collar, has a master that combines two different takes. But there's also a second take that was released on a CD called Elvis, a Legendary Performer Vol. 2. It's like getting to peek behind the scenes and see how we put the song together. For A Dog's Life, we had to record the instrumental part first, and then add the vocals later. There are different takes that were released on an album called Elvis Aaron Presley. It's interesting to hear the instrumental parts and how they fit with the vocals. One of my favorites, A Little Less Conversation, has a master that's the 16th take. But there's also a 10th take that was accidentally released on an album called Almost in Love. It's a bit different, but still has that energy. Always on My Mind is another one where the master is the first take, but the second take is on the Platinum A Life in Music album. It's like two different sides of the same coin. An American Trilogy is a song that really resonates with me. The master is from a live show in 1972, but there's also a version from a show the night before that was released on Elvis Aaron Presley. It's amazing how a live performance can change the feel of a song. Are You Sincere has a few different versions too. The master is the fourth take, but the first take edited was on an album called Our Memories of Elvis, and the second take is on Platinum A Life in Music. Each one has its own charm. Blue Moon is a classic, and the master is the fourth take. But you can also hear the second and third takes on different albums. It's like hearing the song grow and change. Can't Help Falling in Love is one of those songs that people never get tired of. The master is a splice of different takes, but there are other versions that were used in movies and on live albums. It's like the song has a life of its own. Blue Hawaii is another one with a few different takes. The master is the seventh take, but the third take is on the 1997 CD reissue of the album. It's fun to compare them and see which one you like best. Bridge Over Troubled Water is a powerful song, and the master is the eighth take. But there's also a fifth take on the 100 Years From Now Essential Elvis Vol. 4 album. It's a bit more raw and emotional. For Burning Love, the master is the sixth take, but the fourth take is on Platinum: A Life in Music. It's like hearing the song at different points in the recording process. Can't Help Falling in Love has a bunch of different versions, including one from a movie and a live version. It's amazing how the same song can sound so different depending on when and where it's performed. Blue Suede Shoes is another one with a live version from 1969. The master is from a different show, but there are other performances that were released on different albums. It's like a time capsule of my music. Blue Moon of Kentucky is a song I love, and there are a few different takes that were released. The first take is on A Golden Celebration, and there's also a version with an unknown take number. Blue Hawaii has a few different takes too, including one from the movie and a third take on the 1997 CD reissue. Each one has its own flavor. Blue Moon is a song that has a few different takes, including the second and third takes on different albums. It's like hearing the song in different moods. Blue Suede Shoes is a classic, and there are a few different live versions from 1969 that were released on different albums. It's like each performance is a new story. Can't Help Falling in Love has a bunch of different versions, including one from a movie and a live version. It's amazing how the same song can sound so different depending on when and where it's performed. Blue Hawaii is another one with a few different takes, including one from the movie and a third take on the 1997 CD reissue. Each one has its own flavor. Bridge Over Troubled Water is a powerful song, and the master is the eighth take. But there's also a fifth take on the 100 Years From Now Essential Elvis Vol. 4 album. It's a bit more raw and emotional. For Burning Love, the master is the sixth take, but the fourth take is on Platinum: A Life in Music. It's like hearing the song at different points in the recording process. These alternate takes and versions are like a journey through my music. They show how a song can evolve and change, and how each performance has its own magic. It's a cool way to explore the music and see how it all came together. I've always been fascinated by the different versions and takes of songs I've recorded. Each one tells a story, a moment in time when I was in the studio trying to get it just right. Sometimes it took a few tries, and other times it was magic on the first pass. For It's a Long Lonely Highway, we had a few takes, but take 2 was the one that hit the mark. I remember the energy in the room. Everyone was feeling it. That's the one they chose as the master, and it even ended up as a B-side for the I'm Yours single, though that was by accident. Oops, Love Letters was a song I recorded in May 1966. We did a few takes, but the one that stood out was take 10. It had a certain warmth and sincerity that really worked. This version ended up on the Let's Be Friends album. Love Me Tender is a classic, and the live version from August 1969 was special. We recorded it during the dinner show on the 26th, and it had a different feel from the studio version. The audience's energy was palpable, and it made the performance even more heartfelt. Love Me Tonight was another song where the take 8 really stood out. We tried a few different approaches, but this one just had the right flow and emotion. It's one of those songs that always brings back memories of those sessions. Loving You was a song that had a couple of different versions. The main title version from February 14th, 1957, was take 21. It was a big moment for me, and the team at the studio could feel it. The slow farm version, on the other hand, was take 12. It had a different vibe, more relaxed and introspective. Make the World Go Away was a bit of a blend. We used parts from take 3, and the work part of take 1 for the ending. It was a tricky one, but the final result was worth the effort. Take 2 ended up on the Welcome to My World album, which was a great collection. Mama was a song that really resonated with me. Take 10 was the master, and it captured the emotion perfectly. This version was on the Let's Be Friends album, which was a special project for me. Mean Woman Blues was a standout from the Roustabout movie. Take 7 was the one that made the cut. It had that raw, powerful energy that I was aiming for, and it fit the movie's vibe perfectly. Memories was a live recording from August 1969. We had a few different shows, and the one from the dinner show on March 25th was the one that really stood out. It had a certain magic that you can only get from a live performance. Memphis, Tennessee was a song that I recorded in May 1963. Take 6 from January 1964 was the master, and it had a great rhythm and feel. Take 1 from the same session is also available on the From Nashville to Memphis album, and it's a nice contrast to the master. Milky White Way was a fun one. Take 7 was the master, and it had a playful, upbeat vibe that was contagious. It's one of those songs that always puts a smile on my face. Miracle of the Rosary was a more solemn track. Take 4 was the master, and it had a beautiful, reverent quality. Take 1 is also available on the Platinum A Life in Music album, and it's a great alternative version. My Babe was a live recording from August 1969. The Midnight Show on the 25th was the one that made the cut. It had a great energy, and the crowd was really into it. Mystery Train and Tiger Man were both live recordings from the same night. The Midnight Show on August 25th was the one that stood out. These songs always got the crowd going, and it was a blast to perform them live. Night Rider was a song from 1961, and Take 3 was the master. We tried a few different approaches, but this one had the right mix of energy and atmosphere. Takes 1 and 2 are also available on the Collector's Gold album, and they give you a sense of the process. No More was a song that required a bit of splicing. We used parts from Take 13 and the ending from Take 16 to create the final version. It's a powerful song, and the final result was worth the effort. Oh Come All Ye Faithful was a Christmas classic. Take 1 was the master, and it had a beautiful, timeless quality. Take 2 is also available on the Memories of Christmas album, and it's a great alternative version. Old Shep was a song that meant a lot to me. Take 1 was the master, and it captured the emotion perfectly. Take 5 is also available on the King of Rock and Roll album, and it's a nice contrast to the master. Patch It Up was a song that I really enjoyed performing. Take 8 was the master, and it had a great rhythm and energy. Take 9 is also available on 100 Years From Now Essential Elvis Vol. 4, and it's a great alternative version. Peace in the Valley was a gospel classic. Take 9 was the master, and it had a beautiful, reverent quality. Takes 2, 3, and 7 are also available on Essential Elvis Vol. 2 Stereo 57, and they give you a sense of the different takes. Plantation Rock was a song that had a bit of a tricky history. The master was an incorrect splice of Take 17 and an unknown take. The corrected version is available on the Double Features Kid Galahad Girls, Girls album, and it reflects the original lacquer. Pledging My Love was a song that I recorded in 1967. Take 6 was the master, and it had a great rhythm and feel. Take 3 is also available on the Platinum A Life in Music album, and it's a great alternative version. Pocketful of Rainbows was a song from 1960. Take 2 was the master, and it had a great rhythm and energy. This version is available on the EP Collection Vol. 2U, K, and it's a classic. Polk Salad Annie was a live recording from 1970. The Midnight Show on February 18th was the one that made the cut. It had a great energy, and the crowd was really into it. Power of My Love was a song that I recorded in 1969. Take 7 was the master, and it had a powerful emotional quality. Take 3 is also available on the Platinum A Life in Music album, and it's a great alternative version. Promised Land was a song that I really enjoyed performing. Take 6 was the master, and it had a great rhythm and energy. Take 5 is also available on the Platinum A Life in Music album, and it's a great alternative version. Rags to Riches was a song that required a bit of splicing. We used parts from Take 4 and one line from Take 3 to create the final version. It's a powerful song, and the final result was worth the effort. Rip It Up was a song that I recorded in 1959. Take 19 was the master, and it had a great rhythm and energy. Take 15 is also available on the Platinum A Life in Music album, and it's a great alternative version. Rock Ahula Baby was a song from the Blue Hawaii movie. Take 5 was the master, and it had a great rhythm and feel. Take 3 is also available on the Blue Hawaii Expanded CD album, and it's a great alternative version. Roustabout was a song from the movie of the same name. The master was a combination of instrumental take 11 and vocal overdub take 17. Take 6 is also available on the Collector's Gold album, and it's a great alternative version. Runaway was a live recording from August 1969. The midnight show on the 26th was the one that made the cut. It had a great energy, and the crowd was really into it. Separate Ways was a song that I recorded in 1967. Take 21 was the master, and it had a great rhythm and feel. Take 25 is also available on the Platinum A Life in Music album, and it's a great alternative version. Shake, Rattle and Roll was a classic rock and roll song. Take 12 was the master, and it had a great rhythm and energy. Take 8 is also available on the King of Rock and Roll album, and it's a great alternative version. She Thinks I Still Care was a song that I recorded in 1966. Take 17 was the master, and it had a great rhythm and feel. Take 2 is also available on Walk a Mile in My Shoes, and it's a great alternative version. Shoppin' Around was a song from 1960. Take 7 was the master, and it had a great rhythm and feel. Takes 3 and 5 are also available on Elvis Presley, and they give you a sense of the different takes. Silver Bells was a Christmas classic. Take 2 was the master, and it had a beautiful, timeless quality. Take 1 is also available on Roman 2 Every Day Was Like Christmas, and it's a great alternative version. Sing You Children was a song that I recorded in 1967. Take 22 was the master, and it had a great rhythm and feel. Take 1 is also available on Double Features Easy Come, Easy Go Speedway, and it's a great alternative version. Sliss and Sand was a song from the Blue Hawaii movie. Take 19 was the master, and it had a great rhythm and energy. Take 4 is also available on the Blue Hawaii Expanded CD album, and it's a great alternative version. Something Blue was a song that I recorded in 1962. Take 7 was the master, and it had a great rhythm and feel. Takes 1 and 2 are also available on Platinum A Life in Music, and they give you a sense of the different takes. Stay Away, Joe was a song from the movie of the same name. The master was a combination of instrumental take 2 and an unknown take of vocal overdub. Take 17 with a live vocal was accidentally released on Almost in Love. Such a Night was a song that I recorded in 1962. Take 5 was the master, and it had a great rhythm and feel. Takes 2 and 3 are also available on Elvis A Legendary Performer Vol. 2, and they give you a sense of the different takes. Summer Kisses, Winter Tears was a song that I recorded in 1966. Take 20 was the master, and it had a great rhythm and feel. Takes 1 and 14 are also available on Collector's Gold, and they give you a sense of the different takes. Suppose was a song that I recorded in 1966. The master was a combination of the 1966 vocal piano track and 1967 overdubs. The undubbed 1966 version is available on A Golden Celebration, and it's a great alternative. Surrender was a song that required a bit of splicing. We used parts from Take 4 and the ending from Take 8 to create the final version. It's a powerful song, and the final result was worth the effort. Suspicious Minds was a song that I recorded in 1969. Take 8 was the master, and it had a great rhythm and feel. Takes 6 and 7 are also available on From Nashville to Memphis and Platinum A Life in Music, respectively, and they give you a sense of the different takes. Take Good Care of Her was a song that I recorded in 1962. Take 6 was the master, and it had a great rhythm and feel. Take 4 is also available on Platinum A Life in Music, and it's a great alternative version. Thanks to the Rolling Sea was a song that I recorded in 1962. Take 5 was the master, and it had a great rhythm and feel. Take 10 is also available on Elvis Presley, and it's a great alternative version. That's All Right is a song that I recorded in 1954. We tried a few different takes, but the exact master take is unknown. Takes 1, 2, and 3 are all available on A Golden Celebration, and they give you a sense of the different takes. That's Someone You Never Forget was a song that I recorded in 1970. Take 8 was The Master, and it had a great rhythm and feel. Take 1 is also available on From Nashville to Memphis, and it's a great alternative version. That's When Your Heartaches Begin was a song that I recorded in 1957. The Master was a combination of takes 7 and 14. Takes 4, 5, and 6 are also available on Essential Elvis Vol. 2 Stereo 57, and they give you a sense of the different takes. The Fool was a song that I recorded in 1960. Take 2 was The Master, and it had a great rhythm and feel. Take 1 is also available on 100 Years From Now Essential Elvis Vol. 4, and it's a great alternative version. The Love Machine was a song that I recorded in 1967. Take 12 was The Master, and it had a great rhythm and feel. Takes 4 and 11 are also available on Double Features Easy Come, Easy Go Speedway, and they give you a sense of the different takes. There Goes My Everything was a song that I recorded in 1970. Take 3 was The Master, and it had a great rhythm and feel. Take 1 is also available on Great Country Songs, and it's a great alternative version. There's Always Me was a song that I recorded in 1962. Take 10 was The Master, and it had a great rhythm and feel. Take 4 is also available on Collector's Gold, and it's a great alternative version. The Sound of Your Cry was a song that I recorded in 1966. Take 11 was The Master, and it had a great rhythm and feel. Take 6 is also available on Platinum: A Life in Music, and it's a great alternative version. They Remind Me Too Much of You was a song that I recorded in 1962. Take 9 was The Master, and it had a great rhythm and feel. Take 1 is also available on Elvis Presley, and it's a great alternative version. Tonight Is So Right for Love was a song that I recorded in 1962. Take 11 was The Master, and it had a great rhythm and feel. Take 3 is also available on Platinum: A Life in Music, and it's a great alternative version. Tonight's All Right for Love was a song that I recorded in 1962. The Master was a combination of R10 Take 10 and R20 Take 2. Takes 3, 4, 7, and 8 are also available on Elvis Presley, and they give you a sense of the different takes. Way Down was a song that I recorded in 1977. Take 2 was The Master, and it had a great rhythm and feel. Take 2 is also available on Platinum: A Life in Music, and it's a great alternative version. What a Wonderful World was a song that I recorded in 1970. Take 7 was The Master, and it had a great rhythm and feel. Takes 1 and 2 are also available on Collector's Gold, and they give you a sense of the different takes. We're Gonna Move was a song that I recorded in 1955. The Master was a combination of takes 4 and 9. Take 4 is also available on The King of Rock and Roll, and it's a great alternative version. What I Say was a live recording from 1959. The Midnight Show on August 25th was the one that made the cut. It had a great energy, and the crowd was really into it. What's She Really Like was a song that I recorded in 1970. Take 19 and the ending from Take 22 were the ones that made the cut. Take 7 is also available on the EP Collection Vol. 2 UK release, and it's a great alternative version. When It Rains, It Really Pours was a song that I recorded in 1966. Take 10 wasn't officially The Master, but Takes 7 and 9 are available on A Legendary Performer Vol. 4, and they give you a sense of the different takes. Where Did They Go, Lord was a song that I recorded in 1970. Take 6 was The Master, and it had a great rhythm and feel. Take 1 is also available on 100 Years From Now Essential Elvis Vol. 4, and it's a great alternative version. Wild in the Country was a song that I recorded in 1961. Take 19 was The Master, and it had a great rhythm and feel. Take 16 is also available on Elvis Presley, and it's a great alternative version. Witchcraft was a song that I recorded in 1968. Take 3 was The Master, and it had a great rhythm and feel. Take 1 is also available on Collector's Gold, and it's a great alternative version. Wooden Heart was a song from the G.I. Blues movie. Take 4 was The Master, and it had a great rhythm and feel. Take 3 is also available on Elvis, a Legendary Performer Vol. 4, and it's a great alternative version. Words was a live recording from August 1969. The Midnight Show on August 25th was the one that made the cut. It had a great energy, and the crowd was really into it. The Midnight Show on August 24th is also available on Platinum, A Life in Music, and it's a great alternative version. Yesterday, Hey Jude was a live recording from August 1969. The Dinner Show on August 25th was the one that made the cut. It had a great energy, and the crowd was really into it. The Dinner Show on August 24th is also available on Elvis Presley, and it's a great alternative version. You Don't Have to Say You Love Me was a song that I recorded in 1969. Take 3 was The Master, and it had a great rhythm and feel. Take 2 is also available on 100 Years From Now Essential Elvis Vol. 4, and it's a great alternative version. You'll Never Walk Alone was a song that I recorded in 1970. The master was a combination of takes 8 and 1. Take 2 is also available on Platinum, A Life in Music, and it's a great alternative version. Young and Beautiful was a song that I recorded in 1973. Take 22 was The Master, and it had a great rhythm and feel. The splices of takes 8, 12, 18, and 22 are also available on Essential Elvis Vol. 1, and they give you a sense of the different takes. Your Cheat and Heart was a song that I recorded in 1968. Take 10 was The Master, and it had a great rhythm and feel. Take 9 was accidentally released on a Reader's Digest LP, and is also available on Hits Like Never Before Essential Elvis Vol. 3, and it's a great alternative version. You're the Boss was a song that I recorded in 1976. The Master was a combination of Take 16, and the ending from Take 3. The unedited Take 16 is also available on Double Features Viva Las Vegas Roustabout, and it's a great alternative version. I step into the world of music, a world woven with melodies and stories. Each song I've encountered has a tale to tell, and each artist a unique voice. I've walked the paths of classics and newbies, feeling the emotions they pour into their music. There are so many names and songs, each one special in its own way. I remember when I first heard Heartbreak Hotel. It was like stepping into a story of loneliness and longing. The artist Elvis Presley had a way of making you feel what he was singing about. His voice was powerful and raw, like the music was coming from deep inside him. Songs like Love Me Tender and Hound Dog were just as impactful, each one telling a different part of his story. Then there were the Four Lads and the Four Fellows. Their harmonies were so smooth, it felt like magic. I could listen to them for hours, their voices blending together in a way that made me feel warm inside. Songs like Graduation Day and No One Cares had this timeless quality, like they could belong to any era. I can't forget the country tunes that made my heart sing. Hank Williams with I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry, or Patsy Cline with I Fall to Pieces. Their music was a window into a world of heartache and hope, of simple joys and deep sorrows. Each note felt like it was singing directly to my soul. Rock and roll brought a different kind of energy. Chuck Berry with Johnny B. Good, and Little Richard with Tutti Frutti. The beat was infectious, and it made you want to dance. It was like the music was alive, pulsing through the air and making you move. Jazz had its own magic too. Miles Davis with his cool, smooth tunes, and Louis Armstrong with his warm, soulful voice. Songs like What a Wonderful World and Summertime were like a breath of fresh air, making you feel like everything was going to be okay. Then there were the artists who blended genres, like Ray Charles. His music was a mix of soul, R&B, and country, and it felt like he was telling a story with every note. Songs like I Can't Stop Loving You and Georgia on My Mind were so moving, they could make you cry or smile. I've also been drawn to the more recent artists, like Taylor Swift and Adele. Their songs are like modern-day ballads, telling stories of love, loss, and everything in between. Taylor's Love Story and Adele's Someone Like You are just as powerful as the classics in their own way. Each song, each artist has left a mark on me. They've made me laugh, cry, and everything in between. Music is more than just notes and lyrics. It's a part of who we are. It's a way to connect, to share, and to feel. Whether it's an old classic or a new hit, music has a way of touching our hearts and making us feel alive. I've learned that music is a journey, and every song is a new destination. It's a world I'm always eager to explore, because no matter where I go, there's always something new to discover, something new to feel, and that's what makes it all so special. So here we are, at the end of my musical journey. It feels like yesterday, when I first held a guitar and sang my heart out. Elvis Presley, the name that became a symbol of rock and roll, a king of a genre that was just finding its voice. I've had my highs, from the early days at Sun Studio to the global fame that came with hits like Heartbreak Hotel and Love Me Tender. I've also had my lows, times when the pressure and the constant spotlight felt like too much to bear. Music was always my escape, my way to connect with people. It's what brought me to the stage, to the movies, and to the hearts of so many. I remember the thrill of performing, the way the crowd would light up when I sang Hound Dog or All Shook Up. It was more than just a show. It was a shared experience, a moment where everyone forgot their troubles and just felt the music. But it wasn't just about the hits. It was about the people I met along the way, the friends, the family, and the fans. They were the ones who kept me going, who believed in me even when I doubted myself. From my early days in Memphis to the thousands of performances around the world, the love and support have been the driving force behind everything I've done. Music has a way of touching people, of bringing them together. It's why I kept coming back to the studio, why I kept performing even when it was hard. Every song, every album, every concert was a chance to share a piece of myself, to tell a story, to connect with someone who needed to hear it. Looking back, I see a life filled with moments, both big and small. Moments of joy, of triumph, and of struggle. But through it all, the music was there, a constant in a world that was always changing. It's what defined me, what I'm remembered for, and what I hope will continue to bring people together long after I'm gone. So, as we reach the end of this journey, I want to say thank you. Thank you to everyone who has been a part of my life, who has listened to my songs, and who has kept the spirit of rock and roll alive. The music may have been mine, but the joy it brings is shared by all, and that, to me, is the greatest legacy of all.